We're doing away with the news. We're doing away with cool things. Now we're just doing a movie review. Short, quick, nice punch into your daily routine.
Ooh, I see what
weekly
you did there.
routine. A nice
Nice.
karate kick, perhaps,
To the face.
to the face. Bring out the body bag.
That guy is so annoying.
That's my favorite.
So before we
He's my
get to-
favorite character.
there's
Come on, man, you can't take it.
He looks like Mark Hamill's younger brother.
I'm not the only one. I always thought that was Luke Skywalker. I'm like, that looks like Luke Skywalker when I was a kid. Yeah. Whoever
So,
that kid's,
I don't- yeah,
whatever
who
his name
knows?
is. There's the
Maybe-
one crazy kid who looks like the Lost Boy, and he's got like the weird dyed blonde hair.
Yes.
He's like all crazy eyes, and then you had the Mark Hamill look like.
Yeah, so it's a good pair. So we're talking about the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi,
Wax on, wax off.
Daniel LaRusso,
Yes.
the cool stuff.
Daniel-san.
We just wanted to talk about it because it's an awesome movie.
Oh yes. It's something that everybody's seen.
Yeah, and so if you haven't seen it,
Where have you been? Yeah.
yeah, were you born like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Why are you listening to this podcast if you're that
People in
old?
other countries have seen this movie. this is not just an American thing.
People on other planets have seen this movie.
Yeah. I believe we sent it
It
into
was
space.
broadcast in
Yeah.
the space rover.
Yeah. I think Reagan shot it into space. I don't know.
Reagan shot a lot of things into space.
Yeah, he did. Shot Pac-Man into space. It's crazy. Crazy time to live.
Yeah, so Karate Kid. This kid named Daniel moves with his mom to California.
Oh, yeah.
He hates the idea of moving.
From Newark.
Newark.
New
And,
Jersey.
he's a cool kid who is trying to find his way.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up getting tangled up with the wrong guys who are
Over a girl.
group over a girl. It always happens.
Yeah.
And they're a group of guys from the Cobra Kai Karate Dojo, and they
Oh, messy.
so they start trying to make his life hell,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets beat up several times. Finally, he is rescued by his caretaker
Maintenance
of the
man. Yeah.
apartment complex, who also is a karate master.
Yeah. Who owns a very nice house.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a very nice house.
And nice cars.
And
What
a
else does
whole
Mr.
stack
Miyagi
of-
do? He goes to a party. What is this life that Mr. Miyagi has? He's like a maintenance man in a rundown motel.
We need to have an
He's
expose
an army
movie.
veteran. Maybe it's Army veteran.
Well,
like what did he do in the army?
in number 2, his brother is like this rich mogul. So I wonder if somehow he got some money off of the, maybe he was once a part of his brother's operation,
There you go.
and he used to do.
Where did your money come from, Mr. Miyagi?
Maybe he faced down. What's the name of the Japanese ninjas? The
Yakuza?
Yeah, the Yakuza.
Yeah.
Maybe he fought down the Yakuza.
Oh man.
That's the spin-off
I want
we
to
need.
see a prequel, the Mr. Miyagi prequel.
That's
Mr.
the spin-off
Miyagi,
we
a
need.
Star Wars story.
Mr. Miyagi, a Star
Or
Wars
just
story.
Miyagi.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Okay, that's a good
I would
movie.
love to see this,
I'd be down for that one.
I'm not.
Anyway, so
well
Mr.
versed enough.
Miyagi begins. Daniel wants to learn karate so he can beat up
Yeah.
these guys who are picking on him. And Mr. Miyagi's like, that's not how karate works. That's not why we fight. And so he's trying to teach Daniel control. And he says, we'll take care of this. We'll go down and talk to them. He goes to the dojo, and the karate teacher, who's this guy way towering over Miyagi,
Yeah.
comes up and is like, what are you doing in my dojo, old man? And Mr. Miyagi solves everything by agreeing, by asking that they leave him alone, and that Daniel will fight
At the tournament.
in
in
that's
December.
coming up in December. What month is it?
Currently September.
It's probably because it's school start, right?
Yep. Senior year.
Yeah.
I've just paid attention. I watched it at midnight last night, so my brain has it fresh.
super
I know
fresh.
the dates. Yeah.
So then he, of course, he starts pursuing that girl throughout the film. He's learning karate. He's learning different lessons.
Yeah.
The wax on, wax off is, learning the basics, basically, of karate. And goes to the tournament,
Yeah.
kicks the guy in the face.
Kicks him right in the
win.
face. It was a good face kick.
Yeah, it was nice.
I appreciated like the nice like little like karate chop as like he moves him out of the way and you're like, whoa. As this little beanpole of a boy just destroys these 20-something-year-old, obviously not high schoolers.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, surprisingly enough, he was like 23 when he did that role.
Was he really?
Or a little bit older.
he just looks super young.
Yeah, he looks very young. Like I thought, are you 17? Like,
Yeah.
are you in the right age? But he was.
Nice.
But yeah.
So he anyway, it's got a lot of classic 80s type stuff in it.
Just the greatest of soundtracks. My mom told me I must mention this. I must mention Bananarama. I must mention all of the greatest hits of the 80s. Like if you start playing that
Packed into
soundtrack.
one
Yeah, I
movie.
started playing You're the Best, and everyone
man.
immediately started singing it on
yeah.
the crane. It was amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's classic.
so good.
Yeah. And there's so much of it that has become just part of like the idea of the wax on, wax off.
Sweep the
That's
leg.
mentioned. Sweep the leg.
Yep. Bring out the body bag.
Yeah. So many parts of that movie that have become just kind of part of the
Bonsai.
cultural cachet. Yeah, exactly.
Although I'm sure people learn that from other places.
Probably. But that's where I learned it.
That's where I learned it too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so much of my education came from that movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Not
how to
really
take
so
care
much.
of a bonsai tree and how to say bonsai.
Exactly. What the more important thing. But yeah, it's just like it's one of those good old movies that it really did something good for me as a kid.
Taught you how to kick a kid in the face.
It taught me how to kick a kid in the face.
Yeah.
And we all were trying that crane move, right? Like
Yeah.
every time there was like some kind of pole somewhere that I could stand on, I'm like, I'm gonna practice.
Yep. And nope. Okay.
And
not going to do
fail.
that.
I can't even stand
Don't
up.
have the balance.
Okay, we're doing it on the floor. And then we're kicking. Yeah.
There you go.
So
Switch foot. But yeah, it's just one of those movies that everybody's seen. Everybody like enjoys. I don't think anybody doesn't enjoy it. And we don't think of it as like a Calvary. We don't think of it as like
this
these
is a
great
popcorn
movies.
flick, man.
But it's one of those movies that has impacted everybody. And it's a part of the cultural like currency and that dialogue that we have in
Yeah.
the workplace where like or wherever you're at in the world, if you hear somebody say sweep the leg and you haven't seen Karate Kid, you're gonna be like, what do you mean? Like wax on, wax off. I don't know what you mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's one of those things that's useful to watch. It's just like,
Yeah.
like I haven't, but it's one of those things that you can go backwards. And if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you would have an idea and be like, oh, that's where that line's from.
That's where it actually comes
It's like
from.
me and
yeah.
Top Gun. I haven't seen Top Gun all the way through,
Mm-hmm.
but I know all of the lines. I know all of the music. I know most of the things from that
Yeah.
movie, but yeah. And it's got some valuable lessons,
Yeah.
just like how to like persevere, how to stand up
Exactly.
for yourself, and learning that violence isn't necessarily the answer to every situation, but there is a place for it, and that standing up for yourself and for those that
Yeah,
are
right.
around you is
Absolutely.
important. So
So I'm recently trying to learn guitar.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
I've been practicing chords, drilling the chords, and then drilling chord transitions, and trying to just expand my musical vocabulary in terms of what chords I can play and can't play. So working on that for a long time, and it's like, okay, this is great. I can do these chord progressions, but I can't play a song. And
Yep.
so then just a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine is like, okay, so you should try to play this song. And I went and tried to play it, and it was like, I can play a song.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And it was,
it is not the quantity, but the quality of what you know.
yeah. And it was like, it was like that moment where Daniel's just ticked off that like, I'm doing all this work for you, and we haven't talked about karate at all. And so then Mr. Miyagi's like, show me the wax on, wax off. Show me the sand on the floor.
punching
Show
at
me.
him.
Yeah. And so then he starts punching at him, and Daniel's able to deflect everything because he's been doing the basics,
Yeah.
and he's able, like, suddenly the work is starting to pay off.
Yep.
And I, as a kid, I didn't think about it in those kind of abstract terms.
Yeah.
But I definitely remember
lesson.
the lesson of just, there are some things you just got to drill.
Yeah.
And eventually when that comes, like, we didn't,
Multiplication tables, kids.
absolutely. Yeah.
Sweeping the floor.
Go learn your tables.
Just
Yeah,
the
memorize those
little
things.
daily mundane aspects of discipline. Like
Yeah.
discipline's a lot more boring than you'd think. It's not as flashy as being a Cobra Kai
Yeah.
dojo. It's about just doing the everyday things well.
Yeah.
So-
It was awesome watching my son watch Karate Kid
Yeah.
when we watched it, because he's like, when is he going to do karate? Like, he's just so,
It did take a
he's
while.
so frustrated where he's like, okay, so, oh, wow, Mr. Miyagi. Yeah, that's awesome. He's going to learn karate now. And
Mm-hmm.
then why is he just doing all this work? Right? Like he's feeling the frustration
Yeah.
of Daniel. And it's like, Oh, and then when it happens, like you watch the kid, you watch Ian, and he's just as excited as Daniel is. Like, whoa, you see what he just did?
Yeah.
It's like that's what we talk about when we say that story has the ability to capture the moral imagination in a way that I can tell my son, "Hey, son, work now, play later," right? Or things like that. And he's like, "Okay, Dad. Dad always says that, and all that means it's just boring." But I'm really trying to teach him that the play later is actually awesome if you work now, and there's something you can do later if you work now that you couldn't do otherwise. And now there's that cultural touch point of like, son,
wax on, wax off.
yeah, or like Mr. Miyagi says karate here and karate here. He points to his head and to his heart, and he's like, karate is not here in my belly. Like, it's not a gut instinct.
Yeah.
It's led by love for other people and a head of like clear thinking. And so we've used that with Ian. Like, Ian, remember that's coming from your belly. That's just what you want to do, right? Like, think, love, care. So it's just a good movie. Like, it's so wholesome.
Yeah,
I love this thing.
it's so good, and it's making me want to watch Cobra Kai,
Yeah.
and just ruin my opinion of Daniel.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I might stay away from Cobra Kai just so I can keep it straight.
Just keep it pure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ruin it.
Well, this has been Foxfire Farmhouse, the podcast, a movie review episode. We're going to start doing this every other week. So if you have a movie you want us to review, send that our way.
Let us know. This has been Movie Reviews. Dun, 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 dun.